All right, now this is yet another video for the How to YouTube playlist. I'm not going to lie, these have been a blast to do because I never really sat down to just jot down my thoughts and kind of break down exactly how I got started as well as how and why I do the things I do. And for the career fair question sheet, I had to go over real quick before Thursday for the actual career fair. Question number 3 was, what are your typical work hours? And the best answer is number 1, it's whenever I want to work specifically, especially with the Haves and Have-Nots being a show that comes on Tuesday nights on OWN at 9 p.m. So really, you can almost say that's officially when the work week starts because I watch the episode, I take notes during the episode, I live tweet during the episode, then I do an episode review on YouTube in a video format. Sometimes if I'm up for it, I will do a live stream on YouTube just to talk with the other fans. Then I'll go over to Instagram Live. I got a couple people I actually do video chats with while other people watch and chat as well. And we go through ideas about, you know, how the episode was and whatnot. Even some of the cast members, I speak with them through messaging on Instagram about the episodes too. So that's really when, I guess you could say, that's my Monday, if you will. And then from there, you know, I do the trailer breakdown videos because I have a trailer for the next episode on YouTube as well as on TV. And then I break it down, you know, are there any interesting theories or plot points I want to talk about in separate videos? I do it that way. Then I share those videos on Twitter, Facebook. Then I make posts on Instagram about it saying, hey, I posted new videos. And then, of course, the fan base is great because they share videos for me as well. But also keep in mind, that's the standard, you know, main videos I do. So if I calculated the time it takes for me to watch the episode, get my bullet points together, I always jot down a video list of ones I want to do, recording the videos and editing them, posting, I would wager somewhere between 10 to 15 hours a week, because sometimes I do videos off the cuff because guess what, there's something new that's going on in the music world, or, you know, there's a hot topic in the news, because I rarely talk politics, but since it's my channel and if my fan base does want me to speak on something, then I do. But those videos usually don't get the big numbers like the Tyler Perry affiliated ones, so I do those when I've done everything else I need to do first. So videos about who's running for president, you know, this pop culture icon put out a new album, or they're in some Twitter beef, and if somebody asks me my opinion, I might actually talk about it. I got a playlist called Popular News and Music. Wait, yeah, I think it's like Popular News. I think that's like the name of the playlist. There's over 100 videos in there where I talk about various things, from, you know, Kanye West talking about, you know, slavery was a choice, or talking about things in regards to the R. Kelly, you know, stories that have been popping up since this year. I believe, what was it called? Surviving R. Kelly, Brett Kavanaugh, the governor of Virginia with the blackface controversy, Donald Trump. Here and there I have videos on that, but that's pretty much, you know, videos I do in my free time. So when you account for the fact that there are also different things to calculate into the time factor, where I'll put it this way, on YouTube I have over 63,000 subscribers. On Twitter I have over 3,000. On my Haves and Have-Nots Instagram page I have over 3,000. In my Haves and Have-Nots Facebook group there are over 4,000, and then on my Haves and Have-Nots Facebook page there are over 9,000 followers. So as you can tell, almost every day I'm getting a ton of messages and tweets from people, you know, asking questions, giving me theories, giving opinions on theories that I've made, as well as sending me leaks in terms of, hey, TV Guys released an episode synopsis, or there are behind the scenes photos, or this cast member posted an Instagram story, you can do a video on that. So I'm getting news. It's almost like I'm a news reporter, if you will, and my fan base are the ones who are supplying me the information. So sometimes I'm doing videos every day of the week. There are times where I'm posting a bunch of videos each day. I know that's not YouTube strategic. That's not the strategic way to do it, but sometimes I'm in a race against the clock due to the fact that, remember, there are certain videos that need to get put out before a new episode airs. Like, let's say, for example, and I know if you don't watch the show, you don't know the character names, but let's say, okay, is Veronica going to blow up somebody's car next week based off something that I saw on Tuesday night's episode? If I don't do my theory video before the next episode airs the following Tuesday and she does blow up the car, I missed out on a lot of views, because let's say if I put that video out on a Thursday, it might get a couple thousand views. But if it actually happens in the episode, when people look it up on YouTube, boom, my prediction video is already up there, impressing the viewers and getting me more subscribers. So really, you got to be strategic about getting specific videos out there when you can. And then on Monday and Tuesday, sometimes on the haves and have-nots official Facebook page or even the own page, they might release like 15 to 45-second clips, at least one or two. And then sometimes those clips are actually enough for me to do a video on. It's like, hey, they just released this clip. Here's a episode leak of what's going to happen tonight. I started doing videos like that a couple weeks ago, and they've been doing very well. And aside from that, you know, if I add in all the YouTube time, yeah, I'd say definitely over 20 to 30 hours if I account for everything, not just the episode viewing, the notes afterwards, the episode review and trailer breakdown and theories, but in terms of the hours, yes, it's very flexible. There are weeks where I'm barely doing anything because I do all my videos in one sit down. See, I'm the kind of person where I love making to-do lists on Sunday night or Monday, whatever the day may be, because it really gives me an organized fashion. So let's say if I have 30 things on my list to do, I'm just, you know, spitballing here. Okay, I need to clean my bathroom, you know, fill up the gas tank, get groceries. I got a grocery list, do laundry, things like that. I love jotting those down because even though it looks overwhelming at first, there's nothing like taking that Sharpie or pen and just marking things off one by one, because it really shows that you're making progress. So even if I do like 3 or 4 things in a day, but they're big things, I go to sleep at night, relax, knowing I took a few items off the list. So that's one thing, excuse me, I learned in college during my first semester in one of my communication classes. Looking at like the syllabus for the semester, it looks overwhelming, but I know the professor had this funny video on the computer screen for everybody to see. It was like this dog like in a pit that had balloons in it, and I think the game was, I think it was either the dog or a person, I forgot which one, but either way, the game was to pop as many balloons as you could before the timer ran out. And after the video, he was like, look, you see, this game is fun, but at first, it seems overwhelming when you see that there are like 100 balloons there. But guess what? The only way to pop those balloons is to take care of things one at a time. True, I mean, you could technically pop 2 balloons at once, but that's besides the point. Just make sure you are pacing yourself well, because for me, I'm a goal-oriented kind of person. So, yes, seeing a to-do list with 30 things is like a challenge for me. But one thing I need to learn is that I don't have to do everything at one time. Like, I don't have to kill this entire list in one day. It's okay to pace yourself and make sure you're doing things well. So there are times where I'm recording videos that are maybe 45 minutes long or more, because that topic is something I'm really, really passionate about. So yeah, YouTube is very flexible, but you get out of it what you put into it. So there are times where I'm up all night because I'm in the mood to record. You know, it's quiet. You know, there's not a lot of background noise, so I can literally just talk. And from there, I edit and post, and then I go from there and just make sure you're hashtagging the right things. That way, people are easily able to find your videos when you post them online. Because what I love is when I have new subscribers going through my channel, and there are over 1,700 videos on the channel. So it is a bit overwhelming, but thankfully I do have playlists, and I'm still adding on to these even today in order to get the channel more organized. There are people, you know, commenting on videos from like a year or 2 ago saying that they love it and it's so good that you're so descriptive, because we're in season 5 of the show and I just got into it. But going through your videos from like season 3, season 2, I feel like I'm catching up and even catching things I didn't notice before. Those are some of my favorite things, when people who are new to the show say that they came to the show and then they found my channel and it's great and they're telling their friends about it, because it's pretty much a word of mouth kind of situation where my income is based on my fan base. So that's really a good thing when you have a devoted following behind you. And then shifting gears into eBay, which is something I started doing last July or last June. That is a job in itself. You know, I'm not employed by eBay. I'm just a regular person selling things on there like anyone else. but I've always been a collector, you know, even as a kid, video games, Pokemon cards, action figures, comic books, and everything else in between in regards to quote unquote geek culture, which is pretty much the norm nowadays, because who isn't talking about anime or superhero movies or superhero TV shows and whatnot. And, you know, with the explosion that was Pokemon Go, everybody's talking about that more now than ever. But I did keep everything in great condition. And, you know, as I got older, you know, I just stopped playing with action figures. I would just keep them in the box. So I have storage bins full of things to sell, and that's been great. Even more so just browsing around stores like Walmart, Target, Ollie's, and, you know, everywhere else in between that has clearance items. Sometimes I might pick up something for $2 or $3 and be fortunate enough to sell it for $15 or more. And that's definitely been a good side business. And just like YouTube, I treat it like a job. So for eBay, I feel like eBay itself, because it does take time to take photos and list stuff, unless, let's say, if you listed something that didn't sell, you can easily click relist, or, you know, sell similar to somebody else's item, where you literally copy all the details except you change your address and the price and all that good stuff. But sometimes I get those because I think I'm a label as a power seller, because I've almost had 500 transactions on eBay. During the month, I get emails where you can list 100, 200, 500 items for free without the 35-cent insertion fee. Like, let's say if you have 5, like a pair of shoes, a video game, a magazine, a Pokemon card, and a coat that you want to sell on eBay. That's 35 cents a pop for just the basic listing. But if I get those emails with those deals, that means I don't have to pay 35 cents at all. So sometimes I'm spending 3 to 5 hours on a specific day listing stuff. And then I always set my auctions somewhere between 5 to 7 days. And once the auctions are up, you know, the bids start coming in. Some people send in offers. So I'm always looking at eBay every single day. And then once the auctions are over, there are times where I'm selling 20 to 30 plus items at once. Thankfully, most are Pokemon cards, so shipping is like 71 cents per envelope. But at the same time, there are action figures and whatnot I sell. So at the same token, like when I'm going around stores, I'm spending money on shipping tape, buying cardboard boxes, bubble wrap, taking the time to make sure that I write down the correct address and everything when I'm packaging stuff. Then I go out to the post office up the street, mail them off, and I'm good to go. That's money right there. I mean, YouTube is great, but it pays only once a month. So I figured it's great that I'm paying my bills, but I need something more accessible. And every week I'm making maybe about 150 to 300 plus on eBay, because thankfully I have, I think my mom said, I have an eye for picking things out that people want to buy. So yeah, that's another job in itself. And just like I was saying before, you get what you put into it, because I treat eBay like a job. Like, thankfully my eBay has gotten so big to the point where I literally have to spend specific days just working on that, where I say, all right, I posted 3 YouTube videos yesterday and they're doing pretty well, so they'll make money while I'm working on eBay. And then of course I promote my stuff in videos where I say, hey, check the description below. I have links to all my social media and my eBay store. And it's gotten to the point on eBay where I don't even put the receipt in the box, because people don't even want those anymore. I have a letter I've actually written thanking them for being in the store. Please stand by for more items. I always do free shipping, because typically I include shipping in the base price. That way I'm making a profit instead of losing money. And in that letter, I also say that, hey, check me out on YouTube if you're a fan of the Haves and the Have-Nots or Tyler Perry. Here's the name of the channel and everything. And I've gotten a lot of subscribers from doing that. So never underestimate how one specific hustle can help another. That's all I'm saying with that. But overall, yeah, guys, when I first got started, you know, October 2017, I was running ragged. Like, I had too much time on my hands, but I was getting things done. So I was spending like 20 plus hours a week doing YouTube videos, just killing the game. I think last year I posted like over 1,200 videos, I think, between live streams and just regular videos, because I get them out so quickly. But I make sure every video is good, because when you think about it, every video you make is going to be somebody's first video on the channel. So if they don't like a video they click on, they probably don't want to click on another one. So even if the video is 5 minutes or 30 minutes, I treat them with the same level of quality. Some videos are more lighthearted because it's a fun topic or theory, while others are more serious because, okay, I got to go through 3 different seasons because there are clues riddled everywhere. So it's quality over quantity, and I'm really trying to implement that more in 2019. All right, but one of the best things about, just freelancing, if you will, is that I'm able to just do what I want when I want. Like, let's say if I want to give myself a day off because, I got 50 to 70 plus items on eBay, but the auctions don't end for another 4 days. And yeah, I think I've posted enough YouTube videos and I've already, marketed those around on social media. So they're getting views. So let me just take a day and unplug. And that's one thing I really want to stress, is the fact that don't put your life into this. You really need to unplug, unwind. Thankfully, it's beginning to get warmer outside, so I definitely see myself going on more adventures, if you will, just going out for drives because, gas isn't too bad for now. And, just maybe even going to the movies more and things of that nature. But that's another thing, because let's say, for example, we do have the Madea family funeral coming up March 1st. So within the first week of March, I'll definitely go to check it out because, well, I'm going to review it, do a movie review, and talk about it with the fans. So it's kind of cool to say, hey, I go to the movies for work. I just review and I post and I go from there. So yeah, with all that being said, that's the basics of how much time I spend online. But let's just talk a little bit more about, when I got started. And something I really want to drive home is that when I left my job, I knew I was taking a pay cut. I wouldn't be making a consistent amount of money like I was at Liberty. But the thing was, I was getting more satisfaction from working myself ragged on something that I believe in and something that I'm getting all the money from, as opposed to 40 hours per week on the phones dealing with students and the ever-changing rules and status quo of management, where I was wearing like 5 different hats and not getting but the same one check. So I just figured, I'd rather struggle on my own than deal with this. So that's what I did. So there have been lots of sleepless nights and, stressing over whether or not I'm going to be able to pay bills. But thankfully, as time went on, the channel got bigger and the money became more consistent, where I was making enough to pay bills within the first 2 weeks of a month. So that was definitely a blessing in itself. And then when I started eBay, that's when things got even better, where I'm making money more quickly. Like I'm getting paid once a month for YouTube, but I'm making money on the side as well through eBay. And thankfully, on top of that, my WordPress blog finally got monetized. But the thing is, you need at least $100 minimum of revenue in order to get your money. For example, like let's say if you just got ad revenue, if you have $57, you need to wait until you hit 100 in order for WordPress to pay you. So all those years of blogging have, well, paid off, for a lack of a better phrase. So all the time you spend working on something and not getting paid for it, that's okay, because you never know when it's going to take off and you'll start getting paid for it. And also, I think I mentioned in other videos about the whole thing about working by yourself or working alone. Growing up in school and whatnot, group projects will make you dislike people. There are a few group projects I actually remember fondly, because I had, good people in the group, or people who didn't just get into my group because they thought, oh man, with Jeremy it's going to be an easy A and whatnot. Like, I respect people who pull their weight. Like, even if, 2 out of 5 people have positions in the group that aren't as demanding as the other 3, if they get their job done, I'm completely fine with that. The one thing about group projects is, and again, if you're a comic book fan or whatnot, you know why Batman works alone, which is ironic because he has like the most disciples, if you will, of any other superhero, all the Robins and all of his other sidekicks. But it's funny how he says he works alone, but that's where I'm at, literally. I think of my room as the Batcave, where I just come in here and I get on the computer, clickety clack, figure out what I need to do and move on to the next thing. And really, to have that detective mindset is how my theories came to existence, because I had to pay attention to everything and think about all the uncharted avenues that a lot of fans don't think about. So really, that's what made my channel so big, because I'm talking about things nobody else is really talking about. And what really is amazing is when I get comments or messages from people with that aha moment. It's like, I was thinking the same thing. And that, leads to more connections and your channel growing bigger. So yeah, it will be a struggle, especially if this is something that you are pretty much doing full time. But I say only do it full time once you're making revenue. Like right now, start working on coming up with video concepts. You know, some people do like sketch videos and stuff like that. I mean, if it works for you, then do it. But I'm a person where I'm glad I started from the bottom. And no, I'm not about to make a Drake reference, but I started from the bottom, not getting paid for years, but I was building an audience without even knowing it. So I'm glad to say the channel grew from like 100, 500, 3,000 and so on to where I am now, because I have a dedicated fan base, as opposed to making one video that just went viral and now there's no way I can follow it up, and I don't make the most of the opportunity that was given to me when I hit that viral status. So once the channel hits 75,000, 90,000, 100,000 plus, I can say I truly have a dedicated audience. So when the haves and have-nots eventually comes to an end, but Tyler Perry has various other television shows and movies he's working on, I can review those as soon as they come out, meaning that I'll have an even bigger fan base. For example, let's say he comes out with a new drama series on BET, which he is slated to do either later this year or in 2020. Once people start watching that show, I can change the name of the channel to whatever the show's name is, Review, and people will instantly come over to the channel, see what I've been doing, and then I'm going to reach an even bigger audience. So hopefully that'll lead to a big payday in the future. But for now, I'm just happy to say that I make my own hours. Some weeks are busier than others, but luckily enough, I do have enough free time to sit back and relax instead of always being in front of a computer, because at the call center 40 hours a week, I was literally in front of a computer 40 hours as well as being on the phone. But here, you know, I pretty much dictate how much time I want to devote to it, because if the channel's getting a lot of views over 3 days time, it's like, okay, well, I'll let these videos I have on here marinate before I add more to the mix. So you really need to be strategic about it, as well as the social media time. It's really something that is a blessing and a curse, because you can get sucked into just scrolling and posting and responding to comments, because I can't respond to everything. I remember when I first got started, I was excited getting a bunch of messages and whatnot. I'm like, yo, this is so cool. It's like, man. But then as the channel grew and grew, it got to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm getting like 50 messages a day. I can't respond to everything. And then I think to myself, you know, like celebrities like, you know, Cardi B, Chris Brown, Taylor Swift, just to name a few random people, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and so many others, they probably need to cut the notifications off of their phones from like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, because if not, their phones would probably just explode from all the tags, comments, and messages. So it is pretty cool, I will admit. And like I said before, I don't really think of myself as a celebrity, because I bet, you know, once I walk into that middle school at the career fair, nobody's going to know who I am. So, but I mean, if I ever do go to like a Tyler Perry event, people will probably know me because I do show my face on camera. But with that being said, I really did feel like this deserved its own video to talk about how much time I put into, you know, my eBay and YouTube endeavors, as well as my blogging and other things I work on. But like I said before, you know, there are days where I'm just running myself ragged, but at the end of it, I'm satisfied. Okay, I packed up 30 items. I can go to the post office within the next 48 hours. I edited 20 videos, so I got stuff for the whole week. But I would rather run myself ragged for something that I'm passionate about doing than sitting in a comfy position in a job where I got benefits, consistent checks, but I'm not happy. So that's the way I look at it. So you're not really going to achieve anything or grow if you're just restricting yourself to a comfort level, a position of comfort. Sometimes you have to let go of that comfort zone and branch out, because if you don't, you're never going to get anywhere. That's not to say there's anything bad about people who sit in offices all day, because somebody has to do it. Same thing as the custodian, as a fast food worker. You know, treat them with respect, because guess what? Somebody has to do the job. Whether or not they like the job, they are still important because they're doing something that people need. Like, you know, nobody wants to walk on icky floors. Nobody wants to eat frozen food. I mean, that's not already cooked, because being a bachelor, you know, most of my meals are frozen dinners. But I cook sometimes when I feel like it, or eat cereal from a box. But that's another video for another day. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope this answered some questions in regards to, you know, how much time does it take being a YouTuber? I think I put in a lot more time when I first got started because I was desperate to build an audience, but now I'm just learning more about making each video better than the last, you know, increasing quality and things of that nature. So I'm really not in front of a computer as much nowadays. And I mean, between eBay and YouTube, yeah, it's still a pretty hefty week, but time flies when you're busy. That's another thing you'll learn. Time flies when you're busy, but you're getting a lot of stuff done, because what is it? When you're working a job, it's too much time. It goes by too slow. When you're working in a career or something you love doing, there isn't enough time in the day, because sometimes I'll sit in front of a microphone at like noon. It's like it's 6 o'clock already, because I'm in a recording mood. I'm knocking out videos. I'm talking about stuff that I didn't think I would talk about. Like, I could be in video number 4, recording video number 4, but guess what? I got an idea, so I'll jot it down. And it's like, hey, well, when I was recording something 2 hours ago, I got an idea to talk about something, and that's sometimes how it works. So just like when it comes to this how to YouTube playlist, I originally wanted to do the playlist of videos before the career fair, but then when I got the email from the school, I said, you know what, let me make these videos, because I know if I went to a career fair and I had like 25 minutes, but I had 3 places I wanted to go, I wouldn't have time to ask all the questions I wanted. I wouldn't be able to get the detailed answers that I would like, because I know when I go to the fair, it's going to be a, well, as professional setting as it can be for, you know, middle school kids. And I understand that, because I don't want to feel, what's the word, ingenuine or robotic. I don't want to just give 3 or 4 word answers. I know when I go to the fair, I want to tell the kids like, hey, go to the YouTube channel, because I got an entire playlist with stuff about the questions that were on the sheet, questions that you might have thought about but didn't ask because you didn't have time, or things I didn't even bring up, because I just know what it's like to be excited. Number one, because you're not going to be in class for about 30-40 minutes. But number 2, it's like, okay, I want to start YouTubing right now. What do I need to do? And that's very hard to answer within this time space of a couple of minutes, especially when there's a line of kids behind you. So if you go throughout this playlist, go through my channel as well, just look through the various videos I do, because you might get some inspiration of how to do things, but everybody has their own style. And that's another thing I want to talk about. You can look at how somebody else is doing something, but then make it your own. Because if you don't, then you're just going to come off as a carbon copy of someone else. And then it just becomes frustrating, because you lose who you are trying to imitate someone else. But that's all I had to say on this topic here. But thanks so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button if you liked the video. Comment your thoughts on any other YouTube related questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.